Hello, everyone. My name is Kalen Smith, and for the next couple of weeks to months, I will be joining your class as sort of a secondary teacher. I'm currently a senior here in Galesburg at Knox College, and I'm studying to become a high school English teacher. So this is a pretty important step in my journey, is to really integrate myself into a classroom, and I'll get into all of the specifics surrounding that a little bit later. But just for now, I'll do a little bit of an introduction for you, get to know each other a little bit, tell you about myself. I'll get into that right now. All right, so like I said, my name is Kalen Smith, and I will be virtually a member of your class for the next couple of months. Usually this would be in person, but with everything going on, I will virtually be a member of your class for the time being. So a little bit about myself. As I mentioned before, I am currently a senior at Knox College, studying a high school English teacher, which means I am double majoring in secondary education and creative writing. I'm originally from Illinois. I actually lived here for 18 years, and then 3 years ago, my family moved to Wisconsin, so we've lived up there ever since. I love to free read. I love to read in my free time, but funny enough, I hate reading for class. I just can't do it. It just doesn't seem to be as much fun as free reading does, probably because somebody's telling me to do it, right? I love sports of all kinds, and yes, I did try and find the most stock image I could of sports to show you that. My favorite movie is Toy Story. That was my favorite movie growing up. It's just a really nice movie. I'm sure everyone's seen it. There's not anything that you read too deep into that movie. It's just a great childhood movie. And you can see in that bottom corner, in my spare time, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Netflix, I'm on YouTube, just watching videos, trying to not think about school or class or anything like that. So that's usually what I'm doing in my free time. So how this will work, I will virtually be doing lessons with you online on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And these lessons will be happening asynchronously. And that's a big word that just means that we aren't meeting together. So these will be pre-recorded, kind of like this one is, or they'll just be fully typed out, but we will not meet collectively, weekly, daily, nothing like that at any certain time. We're still gonna have to work out what the due dates will be for these lessons, but you'll receive one or two of them every week. Now, most weeks it will be two, one on each Tuesday and Thursday. But some weeks I may decide to do one combined lesson for both of them. It'll just be that the lesson will take more time to get through. So I don't want to expand your workload farther than I already am. So why give you two lessons when I could give you one that can count towards two, if that makes any sense to you. That won't be all week, so it'll just be maybe a couple of them. I'm still not sure if I want to do that combination lesson yet. So for the time being, it's looking like you will have two lessons every week. Now, what's really important to me is that you understand how I define homework and how I use homework. I want to start by saying that there are many ways to demonstrate that you're actually learning something in a classroom besides doing countless homework. There's no reason that a student who fully understands the subject should be doing multiple hours of homework for that one class while they have to worry for other classes, on a nightly basis. So that's not really something that I'm about. And I have a full understanding of what it's like to be an online student right now. And the last thing I would want is boring homework weighing me down, right? So last term, spring term of my junior year, I was fully online back home in Wisconsin. This term I am fully online still, but I'm back here in Galesburg on campus. And as I mentioned, I would hate to have boring homework weighing me down. So that's why I will do the best on my part I can to make these lessons interactive and actually fun to complete. Now, I have had teachers make that promise to me in the past before, and it seems like they never actually go through with that promise. But I can assure you that I am not going to be just giving you busy work. The reason why I am here is to, not only help you in the classroom, but I'm also here to help myself, actually learn what it's like to be in a classroom situation, giving out homework, looking over returned homework and stuff like that. So I don't want to make boring lessons because I don't feel like that's the way I will actually be teaching in the future. I've been through it all, grade school, middle school, high school, all of that. I've already been through it. So I know what it's like to have this meaningless homework that you're not learning anything from. I will do my best to make sure that the work I give you is nothing like that. Now, this homework is also not going to be like correct or incorrect. Like you're not going to get an 80% on one of the assignments because you got answers wrong. There's really no way to be wrong with the type of work I'm going to be giving you. I want you to free write. I want you to express yourself freely. There are a lot of ways to express yourself. I think writing is a great one because you can control who your audience is. If you write a letter, it can be to yourself, it can be to someone else. Writing is very personable because it's not spoken, it's all in your head, translated onto the page. So I think that this will be a great way to sort of express yourself in writing, and that's going to be through these lessons that I give you every week. I'm not going to require you to read chapters upon chapters of books every night and expect you to come in and spit out information that you read about. That's not what this is all about. I can promise that you're not going to have huge chunks of reading, but there will be some smaller sections of reading that will go along with the lessons. And lastly, communication is key. I can't stress this enough. At any given point in your school career, as I'll say, communication is very key to have with your teachers. I remember I would never keep in contact with my teachers, and it wasn't even until I started taking education classes here at Knox that I realized, wow, it is very important to touch base with your teachers on certain things. There are a lot of situations going on with each person nowadays, and teachers have no way of knowing what is happening with you or what is affecting your ability to do homework or participate in class until you tell them, right? Until you let them know. And I'm not saying that you have to spill out all this information to them. Just let them know what type of situation you're going through. And they will be happy to help you out. And never be afraid to reach out through email. Email is, it seems like a dated device a dated service, but it's really the best way to communicate both personally in school or in business. I've learned that here at Knox, if I want to get a hold of one of my teachers, I don't go to some forum or some Google Classroom or anything. I go to their email and they will respond right away, which if it's something that does need to be solved right away, email is just the greatest way to do it. So on that note, I hate to be the teacher that first day they jump from the syllabus right into the lesson. No one likes that. I know I don't like that. I've certainly experienced that before. But this, I can promise you, is a very low stakes, obviously ungraded writing activity. It's just a creative way to introduce this new portion of the class that I will be a part of. So the prompt, now imagine this is years down the road, you've graduated, you have a job, you're living on your own in an apartment complex. You come home late one night from work and your upstairs neighbor has left a handwritten complaint letter on your front door. What does that letter say? That's your prompt. Now, I want you to kind of think into this a little bit, right? Obviously, the formalities of this, I want it on a Word or a Google document. Either way works fine, whatever's best for you. And I want you to type out what this complaint letter would be about. Be creative. Make whatever scenario you want to happen. But I also want you to be mindful that you are still writing something for school, so it has to be appropriate in some sense. But be short and to the point. You have to imagine that this is as if it was just a freehand written note on a sheet of paper, sort of like the example that I have below, and I will read that example off for you. So it says, "Hello, we're the flat downstairs. I live in the room facing the street, and last night whoever lives in the room above me came home very late and proceeded to make so much noise that you woke me up and kept me up with all that racket until around 3 a.m. Could you please be more considerate of your downstairs neighbors? Today I have to go to my 9 to 5 job with no sleep when you probably get to sleep all day. Signed, your angry, tired neighbor. Now, to even expand on this a little bit, I did my own example for you that I'll share with you. It goes, neighbor, yesterday between the hours of 1 p.m. and 3:30 p.m., your fire alarm went off without stopping. I called Steve, the landlord, but he was out of town. He then tried to call you, but you didn't pick up. You must be mindful of our community policies surrounding both in-home fire alarms and answering calls from Steve at any hour of the day. Because of all that, my casserole burnt, and now I have nothing to eat when I get home from work. Thank you for ruining the time I had by myself while my son was away at camp. Signed, your very upset neighbor. So as you can see, I don't want this to be some essay. It's really as if it was just the size of a note that's handwritten on a sheet of paper, stuck to someone's door that you're seeing when you get home. I want you to have fun with this. I want you to be as creative as you can. Like I said, there is no such thing as a wrong answer here. So just really go for it. Be as creative as you can. Like I said, it's low stakes. It's ungraded. Just let me know how creative you can be in this setting. So that's all that I have for you today, you guys. This wraps up our Tuesday, and I will see you back here again on Thursday.